the Prison City Podcast. When the bars go up, you're officially locked in.
Welcome to the Prison City Podcast. I'm your unofficial host, Patrick W. Cuther, and we got just a crazy show here today. We have Mike Freeze back to talk some alien stuff with us and some metaverse topics here. Just a lot of crazy things going on. We released our trailer for our fifth fully feature film, Redgate, recently this week. It's gotten thousands of views so far. We got a lot of stuff going on that. We're going to talk aliens, simulation theory, just everything you can imagine under the sun. But I'll be honest, I just got done watching this metaverse video, and it was freaking wild. We're going to go over this metaverse concept and technology is coming out, and it's going to be like a lot like social media, where I think initially people are going to kind of reject it. Me and Kelly were talking about this before the show started, but I think just like Facebook, eventually everybody's going to be doing it, and it's going to be a wild video we're going to show here today, parts of it. And with that said, let's just go around and introduce the panel here tonight. First, we'll introduce Matt. How's things going there, Matt?
Made sure I pressed the right button. Oh, good. I got Kaya's phone once again, so we should have no delay issues. Pre-show went good. Like if my technology was a preseason team, dude, we'd be undefeated because I'm unfucking defeated. Let's hopefully they keep it up, and I'm ready to jump in the mind of Mike Freeze once again.
Yeah,
I'll have another to that.
Yeah, Matt, you got that Scorched Trials poster there behind you. It kind of looks like a metaverse world that was created. I could see.
Kind of, yeah. I just found that today, and I was like looking for something alien, and that poster just kind of popped it up. It's just been stuffed away. Steve Owens gave it to me after that was at the Alto in Deer Lodge. So I was like, well, that works. So shit.
Yeah,
let's roll with it.
That's pretty cool there. So we'll go over to Kelly now, and Kelly's got a little bit of a sickness going on. It's going around Deer Lodge right now. I'm not sure how yours is going, Kelly, but I just spent the last 24 hours taking about 27 different shits. So I'm not sure if that's the same thing or not.
Yeah, a little bit of Cutler Bros history tonight. I missed rehearsal due to illness. Probably only the second time in our entire history in 20 years that I've missed a rehearsal. I pride myself on that, but I totally could have went. I'm just a little achy, and obviously my voice isn't there. But last night, I literally chewed the whole cast out because we got a couple of people that are a little nervous, wearing masks and afraid of the the COVID. So last night, I kind of chewed the whole cast out. I'm like, here's the rule of thumb. If you're not feeling well, don't come to rehearsal. So after that whole speech, I was like, I better not go to rehearsal tonight because I don't want to look like a complete fucking hypocrite. So that sucks, but I think I'll be totally better in the morning. If I have to bow out, though, that I just means I had to go upstairs and jerk off.
Yeah, for most people out there who don't know, we're putting together the first ever play adaptation of the hit Christmas movie Home Alone under parody law. We're putting together, and then hopefully someday the people that actually created Home Alone put together their own version. But we're recreating the entire movie version of Home Alone on stage. It's gonna be really fun coming up middle of December. That debuts on stage. A ton of fun. So we're gonna go down to right outside of Omaha, Nebraska there and talk to Mahomes. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. And I tell you, our boys at Nebraska and Scott Frost almost pulled off the upset, but they couldn't quite get it done. And congrats to you guys. That trailer is amazing. I know you said you had thousands of views. I'm at least 85% of those. I just keep watching it on loop. I've worked in an algorithm myself that as soon as it's done, it just plays again for me. So it's been on a constant loop ever since you put it out.
Well, that's good to hear. We got 5 people total have watched that so far. And we're going to our special guest host tonight, Mike Freeze, our recurring guest, is back on here to talk about several different things. How you doing, Mike?
Mike, you're on live TV. Speak, God damn it.
Oh, he's deep in the metaverse right now. Not there.
Yeah, we can.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, I guess so. I guess this is a good, maybe I should open my beer too. So, hey, here, this is congratulations to the all the wonderful things you got going on. Redgate and Das Fruit. And yeah, this is a proper thin glass. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you pour a beer, you actually want a lot of head. You see that?
Nice head.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
want a head there.
that process there, that's what will happen in your stomach. So it's better if it happens in the glass so you can not be full.
Oh, so you
That's
want
that's my public service announcement.
a lot of head, kind of like why you get married, right, Mahomes? No.
Yeah, I can't wait for the metaverse. We never have to drink beer again.
Or get head.
I can neither confirm nor deny those rumors, Pat. You know, Mr. Sicky over there is the recently married guy. He'd probably have a better idea. He's still in that honeymoon phase, though.
Yeah, Kelly, you know, 10 years from now, you wouldn't have to be at rehearsal. You could be a hologram.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like shit.
At rehearsal.
I'm just going to check out from society in the next couple of years, move up in the woods here and do something I've never done, go hunting and fishing. I'll probably starve to death.
It kind of makes me wonder though. There's they've created these fake dating app things online where you can have a pretend girlfriend and all these different things, and they'll send you messages or whatever. As we'll progress in the metaverse, I bet they will have that on roids probably in the metaverse.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, I just watched something on Shark Tank. I think I know where this conversation is leading. Just watched something on Shark Tank where this guy sold or was trying to sell a product called Bueller, which was like if you want to sleep in, but you have to have a virtual college class, that your avatar would be there as long as they don't ask any questions or something like that. And I was like, man, that would work for so many college classes, not like the personal ones, but like the big ass ones with 400 people in it, you know?
Yeah. So I'm going to try to break this down. I mean, it's kind of hard to comprehend what the metaverse actually is. And I'm going to try to break this down as we start out here. And we're going to talk aliens and stuff here too, and how it connects to all this. But I'm going to really try to break this down as easy as possible for people to understand. Mark Zuckerberg released a video over a week ago showing everything. The video to me was not made for consumers. It was not made for people who are going to be users on it. It was made for businesses to look at from my perspective, because it was very, very high tech. And he tried to dumb the tech down, but it's really complicated to understand. So I would put it like this. One of the things I like a lot is called simulation theory. And Elon Musk said that there's a 1 in billions chance that we live in base reality. So simulation theory says that we're several realities below what the actual base reality is. And you combine like the afterlife, religions and stuff like that, heaven, hell, you could argue that maybe that's the real reality or whatever, if there's a next level up. So simulation theory kind of connects to everything we already believe in anyways. But one of the parts of simulation theory that they say all the time is like the proofs that we're actually living in a simulation is that we would be actually able to create our own simulation under ourselves. And that's kind of what the metaverse is that a simulation below ours that we can unplug and go to the upper simulation. Whereas right now, the only way to get to the upper simulation that we know of is through death or whatever. So there's no way to go up to the next level. But now that you're creating a level below yourself, it gives even more proof to simulation theory. I would approach it like this. When you have the internet, think about before the internet was created. Can you imagine anybody running a business on the internet, on this screen, on this virtual world that you would buy stuff on? Can anybody think back? It's hard to think back way into the 90s. Before the internet came out, could you ever imagine anybody doing online business or anything? And most people wouldn't even put their credit cards online back in the day when the first internet came out. So it's like, and then you have social media, and most people were trepid about social media. Can you imagine actually having these interactions, things on the social media platform on the internet and doing all these things on the internet we do today? So think of everything you do on the internet today and think of how many things you could not even imagine doing on the internet. And then think of the metaverse in that sense, but in a completely virtual world. And right now it's pretty basic or whatever, but through these videos, we're going to show you they're ramping up to where my avatar is going to look like exactly like me in this virtual world. And this desk right here is going to look, I mean, look how far computer graphics have come over time. That's going to look like my desk like it looks right now. That's how advanced this thing is. So that's why I'm saying everybody should be paying attention to this thing, because you're going to be able to operate businesses within the metaverse, and it's going to be just as real as operating a business on the internet. It's really no different at all. It's just a virtual reality environment instead of an online internet environment. Does that make sense, everybody? Anybody have any questions as we start out here?
So I'll ask, because I've like seen this. I haven't really read into it because it's like Zuckerberg's talking. I think I'll unplug. So is this like you're putting on your like Oculus or your like virtual reality goggles and that you jump into it, or is this just like I see my avatar on the computer screen and then I'm interacting that way, almost like a video game?
No, it's virtual reality. It's augmented reality. They even have glasses where you walk around our house and you can play a video game on your table, like you're seeing through your glasses and stuff. The idea is, if you watch the whole video, it's fucking wild. It is wild. But this is like the movie Ready Player One. If you've seen that, this is we're talking like a completely different world. Except this is going to be even far more advanced than that, because Ready Player One, they're still like avatar or video game looking things. They're advancing to where you're yourself in this virtual world.
Do you have some clips, Pat, that you're going to show? Like, do you have some time code?
I'm going to show some clips here pretty soon. And that's how I would say to you, Mahans, is like, and to anybody that works in any kind of like work environment where you have to work remotely, and more we're working remotely. Imagine if you put on your remote work, you put on these goggles and you have your entire desk here, you interact with people in front of you in this virtual reality setup and everything, and you do everything virtually from your house or whatever in that virtual environment. It's like you're there, but you're technically, physically not there. That's kind of where it's heading, if that makes sense.
So it's like I laugh just a little bit because it's like, remember when you'd get yelled at as a little kid for sitting too close to the TV? And now in a few years, they're basically the screen's going to be like this close to your eyeball.
I know. Yeah. And it's crazy to think about, because this is just the goggles and stuff is just the beginning of it. Like, that's the beginning of it. At some point, it'll be as advanced as I would say, like the shit you see in the Matrix stuff. That's eventually where it's heading.
I don't think that's crazy at all. Like I've been saying that for years. That's eventually where we're gonna go to, where humans are just basically a energy cell, plug it into their veins, and fucking you're living in a virtual world just like that, and with whatever rules. But yeah, I think that's kind of where it's heading. Why hike up Mount Everest if you can just have the experience of being there through a headset or whatever? Well,
yeah, and that's the thing is, if you watch the movie The Matrix, and that's one of the guys says, like, I know this isn't real, but real life fucking sucks. So he sells everybody else out on his team to go back to the Matrix. It's like, I can't fucking tell. It tastes real to me. It's real enough,
It's like Shallow Hal. Well, I could feel her boobs, and so that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the show? It's an Amazon show, and maybe no one has. It's called Upload, where basically when you die, they upload your consciousness to a cloud, and it's like, if your family's well-to-do, you can get paid to go to this like nice heaven that's like in this really nice hotel where it's like, to you it feels like you're eating and drinking everything, and then your significant other who's still alive in the normal world can put on this like full body suit, and they can like feel you hug them, or more adult versions of that. It sounds very similar to this. Obviously there's the life and death aspect of it, but it's just crazy.
There's a Black Mirror like that too. Remember the lady that dies or whatever, in the guy's head? And I just want to make one note on Pat's opening there is, like, the internet and even us sitting here watching these screens and seeing each other, technology, I think about it probably every day. I'm just like, how the fuck does this work? I look at my cell phone. How does this work? How can I see this shit? It's this plastic and metal and shit in my hand. It's just like, it just blows my mind how, and I know that people that create this shit can explain it, but to me, I'm just like, this is wires, and I can't wrap my fucking head around it. And then also what Pat's saying is like, yeah, the metaverse coming up, what we're talking about, we could be right now in our 4th or 5th metaverse, or our 1,000,000th metaverse. Nothing could be real whatsoever. This could be such a vivid simulation right now. And when we die, you're not really dying, you're just taking the Oculus Quest off, it's like, whoa, that was a fucking trip. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah.
And there's been in simulation theory, I've looked at a lot. There's a lot of YouTubes on it, videos. A lot of people in simulation theory thinks that if the very, very base level of reality is like nothingness, it's like the Matrix, it's like fucking nothing. And it's really interesting as fuck. So I'm going to show just a few clips just to skim around a little bit. So just to give everybody an idea of what this is all about and everything. So I'll skim this through this as fast as possible, so we're not like watching here's the first clip I'm going to show you right here. Now you want to check out this image. Her name's Lily Jones, and she snapped me this earlier. I live alone at home. And I always love to be naked at home. Baby, if you want to see my sexy figure, come to my personal profile and make a video call. On the metaverse? Is that what she's talking about there, guys? Now, who wants to analyze that?
It's called OnlyFans. So
Right.
where did that even, what was that? You were just chatting with someone or what?
I think that was a bit he was playing on us. I think it's what that was.
That's Snapchat. I have an open Snapchat, so people will friend me out of nowhere, then they'll start sending me shit like that and be like, come check out my link and we can meet up in real life and you just have to pay $2 or something like that. So those are always fun to see come in the box.
So you already don't know what's real, from blow up dolls, people having sex with blow up dolls to we're playing Madden 2022 now, and I just watch it and I'm like, this is getting so fucking, this is almost more realistic than real life.
It is. If you watch, and I'll tell you this, watch the fucking they came out with them like last year. They're not like 3D cameras, but they're like AI type cameras. You'll see them on the sidelines during NFL games, and it looks like a fucking Madden game. It's like, holy fuck! It's like, what is the difference anymore? And that's kind of where the metaverse is going. The graphics aren't that well done in the metaverse right now, but they're working on it. The last one I want to say before we get into this video is talking about like the sexual experience and what happens. You wear goggles, you wear all these different things. Eventually, encompasses your entire body. There's did you guys ever see the the sperm donation centers in Japan? The rubber machines, they're like orange, and you put your dinghy in the orange thing and just like sucks it back and forth, almost like a cow farm, until it sucks the sperm out of you. Have you seen those?
I don't know, but somebody should clip that and put that as your Instagram.
No, I've never heard of that.
That's what I told Marissa I wanted for Christmas from Walmart, is a dinghy sucking machine.
Actually, that reminds me of a story. This maintenance guy that I work with, he's like an older guy. He's like a Filipino guy. He's probably, I don't know, late 50s, maybe early 60s. And he's kind of intense, kind of like a very literal guy. And one day he came back in the warehouse and he's talking about China, just going off about China and babies. And we're kind of busy working, and I'm like, Julio, what are you talking about? He's like, China. He's like, they're making them. I'm like, what? He's like, babies. They're making babies in a factory in China. And we're like, what? What are you talking about, Julio? Like, he's like, look. And he shows us, and somebody had shown him like Chinese like group porn, where they're all like banging each other in a room. But he thought that China was like pumping out babies in a factory.
That's called entertainment here in the US, Julio.
But he didn't know. And it's that other, it's like it was, but obviously he had a friend who probably showed him.
So yeah, I'll show you this picture here really quick. So that's the machine there on the left, and then you put your dinghy on that thing on the right.
Yeah, so you had these all queued up for tonight?
No, I just found this. I just searched this really quick. Now let me show
It's
you.
fake as fuck, man.
Yeah, now look at I'll show you the overview top of it.
Well, let's see some footage. Let's see this thing in action.
Like, someone's got to clean that.
Yeah, I know. So
no matter how bad your job sucks, you're not the sperm machine cleaner.
Wow.
They're like, I I think this one's been cleaned. I can smell bleach.
You gotta separate what's good and what's bad.
You
though,
guys
don't
should
you,
buy
folks?
one of those and just put it at like in Deer Lodge Safeway, just randomly, like next to the red box. Or something.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going up to one of those machines and it's like your buddy from the Montana bar? Oh, hey, you don't need swim too? Yep. All right, let's do this.
I think you stick your dick in it and it takes your blood pressure.
I say that's the way it's going though. You do that, you donate sperm. The next thing you know, there's money coming out that machine. Boom, you walk away. It's gonna be on every street corner.
No pun intended, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. One for the money. There you go.
Well, so talking about this too is, what Kelly was talking about earlier and Matt about like screens, and we're evolving, and this metaverse, and it's not just Facebook, right? It's like Google and Microsoft is doing their own thing, and but that whole sexual thing, especially for young kids, can you imagine like being a young kid? Imagine how it felt the first time you saw a Playboy magazine in the 90s or whatever. It's like, imagine just putting on, and so they're not going to do a good job keeping this avatar porn away from kids. And this machine Pat just showed us, it just looks like, oh God. So like these guys are probably just that probably just kills their libido, right? And it's just like, you can imagine what's going to happen to these young kids now, because anything that advances in technology, porn always revolutionizes it. That's where JPEGs came from. That's where the reason why we have videos on our computer it was all pioneered by that. And robots, all these, of course, like the sex robot industry is pioneering robots, and the metaverse is going to be no different. And so it's a real thing that we need to really protect kids from this, because it's going to be.
Yeah, and I'll tell you I'll just end this quick segment. I'm not sure where this is going, but no, when I first got on the internet, AOL Messenger, man, I used to hit up people on these different messenger groups, and we'd have porn exchanges, to tell you the truth. It was pretty not of ourselves, but that's a whole other story. But let's get on to what we're talking about.
It was much different back then. You didn't have it at the palm of your hand. You know what I'm saying?
But I know.
Way different.
It's way different. I literally learned though what a JPEG was by getting a nude picture from. I'm not going to talk about it. Anyways.
As long as it wasn't the local karate teacher, I think we're good.
Does this have something to do with population control and shit? Because it was hard enough for all of us to ask a girl out. We talked about this last week a little bit, but now it's like, since everything's going digital and online and everything, and now this metaverse, it's like, how would you even do it in real life? Or once again, maybe this isn't real life.
It's like that movie Demolition Man with Stallone, where they wouldn't even have sex. Remember that?
Can't we just do it the old-fashioned way?
We're gonna have just a bunch of sex-addicted teenage boys out there who just go home and skip their homework so they can plug in their Oculus.
Yeah,
I agree that reproduction is never going to stop, because no one's going to ever end the human civilization. But you talk about books like Brave New World, where babies are just created in factories and shit like that. There's no doubt whatsoever in my mind that that's probably where we're heading eventually, because when you take away, you have these movements and not everything's bad about the Me Too movement, but you have these movements where just, especially in liberal media, where it's like, man, today, how do you approach a girl without being accused of fucking rape or some bizarre thing or whatever? In general society, it's fucking crazy. It's like, and then you have these things saying every single male is evil and a rapist, and it depends what you read, but that's what they insinuate if they don't say it directly. So it's like, a lot of people are so fucking turned off of that, especially guys are like, what is the fucking point of even trying at some point?
Every generation goes through its own shit, though. It's weird that we're at this age where these kids are so screwed. I'm so afraid for this generation. They were saying that about us too, and the generation before us, and so
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, exactly. So
I just, my biggest worry isn't necessarily the kids or anything. It's just the advancement in technology is going to change things so radically where it's like, if they really push making relationships as difficult as it is, which social media has made relationships way more difficult today than ever before. As we continue to go that direction, it's not the end of the world or anything like that, but read A Brave New World. If no one's read A Brave New World, that's 100% where we're likely heading.
And that's a good point, because life mimics art a lot of times. Like Star Trek, predicted half of our future already. It's like, it almost like it can't help itself. It's like, whether it's 1984 or Brave New World, it's like these ideas come out there, and then just naturally people who are into, who go to college and who are engineers, they grew up watching Star Trek or they grew up watching Star Wars, and they just kind of subconsciously build stuff that's futuristic. And a lot of it comes from writing, from novelists, from just fiction, and it absolutely becomes reality. That's why Black Mirror is terrifying, because holy shit, man, if half of that show comes true, like that is a fucking very different turn than our forefathers expected.
Well, I was gonna say, Mike, going out the Black Mirror thing, there's that one episode where she follows her daughter, like implants what she can see what her daughter sees and can follow her whatever, using an iPad and stuff. And it's kind of scary. That's how it used to be, even compared to our generation, whereas kids, your parents really didn't know what you were into,
And they're already doing the social credit score from Black Mirror. They're already doing that in China now. They're giving people a social credit score. You remember that Black Mirror episode where your fucking score is like, they're doing that.
And you see all these test tube or bubbles or whatever, everyone's going to just, you've seen those, I don't, maybe it's Black Mirror, but everyone's got their own incubator. And most people don't even got to leave that because they have everything they need, their food, their Oculus, their, metaverse. So can you imagine how immobile the world's going to be, in the coming years, even 20 or 50 years from now? If you want to take that off, like people in our generation, and go outside, man, you're not going to see a single fucking soul.
Maybe the cost of airline tickets is going to go down here in the next decade, though. That's
no shit.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get like the main points out of this video as fast as possible so we can talk about it. But I'm going to skim through the beginning of it, and you guys can kind of see the beginning of this video. It kind of shows where things are currently at, basically. And then towards the later stuff, it gets more into more and more realistic. But we'll skip right here to Mark Zuckerberg. Hey, Mark, welcome to the podcast night. Hey, guys, glad to be on. He comes on here. All right.
We believe the metaverse will be the successor to the mobile internet. We'll be able to feel present, like we're right there with people, no matter how far apart we actually are. We'll be able to express ourselves in new, joyful, completely immersive ways, and that's going to unlock a lot of amazing new experiences. When I send my parents a video of my kids, they're gonna feel like they're right in the moment with us, not peering through a little window. Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear.
Look at this. Even his avatar is fucking creepy.
All right.
Right?
Looks more human than Mark.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Everybody else's avatar is fine. Mark's creepy as shit.
What about that guy to the left? He's pretty creepy.
He's fine. He's totally fine.
So I'm going to skip ahead. Here they are at a virtual concert in the metaverse.
After party passes? Yes.
So for the folks listening, there's a girl who can't come to the concert because she didn't buy a fucking ticket, but now she's there in a avatar with her friend.
Your favorite songs, and check out the merch that just dropped.
Ooh, I like that.
Well, now you've got to get it.
You can start to see how the metaverse is going to enable richer experiences by letting us add new layers to the world that we can interact with.
Here's an example working in the
Now
metaverse.
imagine that you have your perfect work setup, and you can actually do more than you could in your
And this is how they're going to really pull people in with corporations, and it'll be mandatory to do this stuff with your work.
Good. Let's get together real quick for a debrief.
And the idea is you have your own space. You can go to different spaces instantly. So you can go to your friend's space, the other person's
free
space
now.
2,000
Let's
miles
jump
away.
I think it's ready.
Great.
I'll prep it for the presentation.
All right. Good luck.
What do you guys think of that so far?
I think it's crazy. I think they're doing their very best to just destroy the live entertainment industry, huh? Hey, who never wants to pay for a ticket ever again?
Well, but that's the thing, Mark, is that they're gonna make you pay for it, because when everybody's wearing these smart glasses, wherever, they're all gonna be connected. So they're gonna know that you're in that you're sitting on your couch, and if you want to go see Kanye, you want to say, yeah, it's $5, you can go. Well, they're gonna know, like, it's not gonna be free. I mean, maybe at first it will be, but the like Facebook makes so much money right now, but this is gonna just 10 times the commerce, and everything is going to be a potential transaction somehow.
Do you see what I mean by the work experience though? Like, you're sitting at your desk and all that's right in front of you, just with your headset on, and you can just pull and play with things and move it around and shift things up. And you can see how that can be super, super efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot there to to unpack. My initial reaction is it's a little bit daunting or scary. Like, man, I don't want to, I want to live in reality here, but again, like, what is reality too? So I guess my thing is I'm just living one day at a time. We'll see where this thing goes, if anywhere, or what they do with it.
For me, it shows in the work, because I do the work environment, and that's a good example of like saying, okay, look, we're not all gonna. There's gonna be a physical reality, no matter what. We're not all gonna instantly unplug from the physical reality. The potential to plan things in a virtual environment and lay, like the example there, the construction example, the ability to do that in a virtual environment. You pull this up, it's right in front of everybody. Everybody looks at it. You're playing around with it. You're doing the efficiency and the way that you can communicate ideas and things like that so quickly and efficiently. The technology and just that, with sharing ideas and things, you can build stuff. Mahomes got lost in the metaverse there. Now he's back. I was just saying, in that virtual environment, the ability to build things so efficiently and display things and interact with people so fast and quickly, that I think we're going to be able to build physical things in the physical world way quicker, and things can advance way faster than ever before.
Exactly. Doesn't that sometimes cause problems too, like with some uncles, or not some uncles, but some relatives you might have, or some friends you might have. Yeah, they post something stupid on Facebook, be like, oh, fuck this guy, and then talk shit about, but without this metaverse Facebook bullshit, you'd never have that conversation or get pissed about what they think, because you'd never know it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I see what Pat's saying right out of the gates. Yeah, this would be great for the example we just saw for work and stuff like that. But think, into the distant future, is the metaverse just going to become reality eventually? You got the whole bodysuit on and you don't really ever got to leave there. So that you're constructing this building, but the building's never built in this world that we know. It's built in the metaverse. You know what I'm saying? And how easy is that to manipulate, where it's like, okay, everyone's in here. Let's freeze everyone in there. Let's get everyone in here. This is now their reality, when the whoever is out here in real reality just pulling all the strings, controlling that,
Yeah, but what about like alcohol and drugs too in the metaverse? You know what I'm saying? Because people still got to get their fix in a way. You know what I'm saying? How the shit does that play in? You know what I'm saying? These mind-altering substances.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Mahomes.
I was just going to say they'll find a way. And really, I'm thinking business-wise, does anyone, it's early yet, but does anyone kind of want to start the first ever metaverse bodysuit cleaning services, like dry cleaners? But we really focus just on the bodysuits. And if we're the first ones in, man, we can start a whole bunch of chains around the country. We'll be the richest people ever.
You know what? And you're absolutely right. Facebook, and you guys should really watch this video. It's Patrick, an hour 17.
It's like an hour and 17 minutes. I'll probably link it up.
Yeah, but you really should watch it, because Facebook is telling you what they're gonna do. They're telling you like how they see the future, and one of the things they say in there is that they've teamed up with Ray-Ban and they're going to make these fashionable glasses. And so that's the next step in 2022 is we're going to start seeing smart glasses, right? And it's basically going to be what Google Glass imagined they would be. I mean, Google Glass was just too quick to the rodeo, right? Like the technology just wasn't there yet. But that's what this 5G stuff's about. This Starlink, the Elon Musk having internet literally everywhere, like in Antarctica, like anywhere on Earth, you'll have internet very, very soon. Neuralink, right? And so the idea is to have it. I mean, think about this, like kids, right? Like I think the average American spends like 8 hours a day on their phone, and kids is even more. And so if it's just glasses, right? Like you're just going to have them on all day long, and it's just going to make sense. It's not even going to feel weird. And so I thought about this a lot before coming on tonight, because like it's so easy to go down the dark path, and like there's so much darkness to talk about, like all the crazy stuff that we can kind of obviously put together. But I think it's important to really stay positive. I know what Mark was saying was hilarious, but it's true. It's like, hey man, like you guys are into comedy, like there's so much potential here, and just trying to see the positive, because hey, look, if this is the fucking mark of the beast, then that's what the mark of the beast is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be so enticing that people won't be able to resist it. They're not going to know that they're being deceived, but we're not going to be able to stop it, obviously, and so just trying to put some kind of positivity in there, because once everybody starts wearing the glasses, then they're gonna we don't really need glasses anymore. Let's just do the chip. The chip is easier. You don't have to wear the fucking glasses, come on, and then it's just a generational thing, and then babies are gonna, well, let's just put the chip in them now, rather than do that later. And pretty soon it's just going to be in your head, and then when you're sleeping at night, you'll be able to share your dreams with your, what I'm saying, and they're always going to be there. And then what Pat was saying, what differentiates that from the Matrix, from how are you going to be able to tell what is real and what isn't? And then what Kelly said, well, what if you just take the fucking thing off and go camping? Well, guess what? Like, you think heroin's addictive? I mean, if you take this away from a 13-year-old girl, she's going to freak out in like 10 minutes. Like, can you imagine? Like, even if this girl goes out camping with you, she'd much rather have all of her avatar friends camping with her. Like, she doesn't want to just, oh God, I don't want to just sit here on a rock and look at a fucking water.
Yeah, Mike,
I
was just gonna say, Mike, I know what you're saying, because like even nowadays, we'll have people go up camping with us where you're completely out of service, but they just have to go back and make a phone call, or have to go back and check this. Back in the day,
Well, thanks to Elon Musk, they're gonna have 5G.
Yeah, exactly.
There's already self-service.
Worry about that.
There's already, sorry, go ahead, Kelly.
I was just gonna say, you go camp with your daughter. You're like, I told you to leave that chip at home. You dig it out of her forehead with a fucking pocket knife.
Here, I like try this Patrick Cutler special pump machine.
Boycott Pat Cutler.
Yeah, boycott Pat Cutler. That's gonna be my first app I'm gonna put into the fucking system, the metaverse.
That'll be your avatar's. Yeah. Your avatar shirt will be boycott Pat Cutler.
I should go on there, dude. Right now, I could go on there and create boycott Pat Cutler digital shirts for the metaverse.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I want to say first about camping. That's a really good point. Number one, why would they want to go camping if they could just put their virtual headset on there and go camping virtually from their bedroom and just meet with their same friends? You don't have to go anywhere, and you don't have to sleep in a shitty sleep bag or whatever.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if you're going out camping, obviously all of us go out camping and like to drink a lot of beer and do other things. But I'm saying, it's like, do you have to do that in real life to have your avatar feel that? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, We're talking though. I mean, this is the base level. We're talking. You're going to be able to have the smells, the senses. Everything's going to be there eventually. I mean, this is the beginning of creating a matrix underneath us.
And once they get the chip in you, you're going to be able to have an orgasm on command. Anytime you want. It's just like
I said, you can dial in like the headaches and all that shit, like the stomach pain, all that shit. It's all be it. Yeah.
Someone the other day just said, trying to get me to invest in these new chips coming out where they can block like pain, the pain center of your brain. And I thought that was interesting as fuck. It's like, so would people live longer then, because you're out there 80 years old, you can play football, nothing hurts.
Yeah, but is that really a good thing when you end up dying the next day?
Hey, Kelly, also, you're into sports betting, right? Like all you guys know a lot about sports. So one positive thing is think about this. Like imagine having your glasses on or whatever, your chip on, and you can be on the fucking pitcher's mound looking at the guy's eyes, deciding if you want to make a bet, like, right? And for you, it's just like, this is fucking great because like then I can just avatar myself courtside at a fucking Knicks game.
Yeah.
Even though the Knicks fucking suck, right, guys?
Oh, you're still good. They're actually kind of good now. This is where 3D technology is supposed to go with ESPN. It just failed because it just wasn't immersive enough, or it wasn't much different from watching over TV. But the thing I want to say is like, this goes back to camping is like, I think all of us remember going camping as kids where you spend 3 or 4 days away from that TV set and you come back to your TV and it just feels so fucking different. You just feel radically different, where it's like this, then it comes to this, where you give this a break for 3 or 4 days. It feels radically different. And then pretty much it's going to be your virtual headset. But you look at technology as a whole and, what did my grandparents do? Or your grandparents do? And what did my parents do now? When they retire and they live in a house, they have their TV set going 24/7. So that in a way is living in the TV set itself, in a way, made it us living in a different world that wasn't the physical world right in front of us. Then the internet advanced, and then our phones advanced, and now we're advancing to the final level, which is a totally real, completely different simulation from our current reality, which is pretty fucking interesting. But you can see the advanced steps that have advanced throughout this process. And the internet, basically, when the internet was invented, it basically put everything on fucking roids.
Like Mike said, you can't stop this shit at all, so don't even try. But for me, it's a win-win, because maybe when we go on like junior buzzards or camping or something, less people are out there because they can do that from their living room. I'm like, fine, enjoy that, because maybe I'm just old school, but I'd love to have the Blackfoot, the Thibodeau campground all to our fucking selves, sleeping in a tent, getting dirty, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Having sex.
Nice. Yeah.
Having sex.
No, I like how when Matt was like, we drink a bunch of beers and do other stuff. I was like, you didn't mean for it to sound dirty, but it kind of sounded dirty.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that like with you can bang each other with your avatars and it's not
so Mike, the other stuff meant smoke a bunch of weed up there.
Well,
and have gay sex.
Was that a Black Mirror again, where it was like 2 avatars and they were like in karate?
Yes.
Or in,
yes.
Yeah, and then they started making out and shit, and it got all fucking weird.
So this is absolutely where we're going. Pat, can you play more of that video? Like, were you going to play more of it?
Yeah, I'm going to play some more. I'm going to go to some things like here. I want to show you this clip, these clips here. And this is what it's talking about. And what we're talking about here, going to these different virtual worlds. Again, just to kind of repack a little bit is, and I actually, for the record, I actually bought myself on the latest Oculus Quest 2. I've never used this stuff before, but this video is like, okay, this is the future. I might as well get used to it at least a little bit, check it and see where it's actually at. Because watching it, again, a virtual reality experience, having that experience with the thing on and watching a YouTube video on it, totally 2 different things. So I got my own copy of it. Hopefully it gets here next week and I can just disappear and our next podcast will be virtually. But let me dive into some of the virtual worlds they have here on this video, and you guys can kind of check it out here.
In the metaverse, you'll be able to teleport not just to any place, but any time as well. Ancient Rome.
But they're going to rewrite history, guys. They're going to tell history the way they want to fucking tell it.
It does kind of seem cool, though. I mean, just looking at it right now.
Imagine learning how the forum was built by actually seeing the forum get built right in front of you.
So this was a video that's kind of
everyone.
weird. She's
I'm Marty
basically
Levine.
now doing this out of
In the
her virtual
metaverse,
space.
learning won't feel anything like the way we've learned before. With a headset or glasses, you'll be able to pull up schematics you're studying, or maybe even the service manual for a vehicle you're learning to repair. Let's say you're a med student or a doctor. With apps like
This is where it'll be really useful, though,
learn new techniques
in the
surgery
medical field.
firsthand, practicing until you get it right.
Launch her own lab.
Okay, I'm skipping ahead, but basically here, and basically what you're going to see here is he's going to go into, it's kind of weird. This is a weird segment because it's kind of like a virtual world, but it's not. Just watch it.
So today, I've asked Jackie Aina to join me to start a conversation about what might be possible.
Not only a bit of a love letter to me and my relationship with my mom, that's how we bond, was through fragrance ever since childhood, but it's been doing amazing, and we've actually been getting a lot of support.
Jackie, this space is pretty magical, and I know it kind of reflects the stuff you love. Like, tell me a bit about what you love and why this represents you. We're only available to your most ardent fans who paid special access to get to that product.
That's dope.
Commerce is going to be a big part of the metaverse. You'll be able to sell both digital and physical products. The butterfly effect transports us someplace magical.
So beautiful.
So Jackie, as we walk through this amazing world, what does the metaverse mean to you?
I just feel like this is like endless possibilities with my imagination.
I can't even begin to imagine how meaningful the metaverse will be, thanks to creators like you.
That's
So
pretty great, man.
Were they in the metaverse right there? Is what that was going on?
Well, she was just giving an example of like what an entrepreneurial space might look like. So like somebody's Instagram page, like let's say that you sell whatever she sells, boutique shit or whatever. It's like you can enter her whole storefront all virtually and in this like, you know, that's what they're trying to sell from what I get. And it's interesting that they're really selling this on you, but they're not saying anything about the negative. They're not like, yeah, well, you know, what if, you know, they're not bringing up any of the fucking points that everybody's thinking. Like, what if somebody hacks into this thing? What if every goddamn conversation I have is recorded with this thing? You know, I mean, obviously it's going to be. They're not saying any of that shit.
I think that's like for some of this shit, it's kind of like a very easy selling point. For like when they brought up the Roman, you know, temples and all that shit. But I was just say like some of the points, like if I could go on the Titanic and be like, okay, you got an Oculus Quest on, and you could spend a night on the Titanic and witness it, you know, sinking and shit like that, or even go back to when Christ was getting crucified. You could just be a bystander there, or like even the Holocaust. I think that's a very good selling point. We're like, shit, I could put this headphone on or whatever, or this headset on and just like be a bystander there, drink a couple beers and do whatever. But I could just, you know what I'm saying? It's like a very unique and interesting point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's the point they're selling. And as I get on here, the last clip I'll show here eventually, I'll show you how realistic they are with the facial descriptions of someone's face. They have it pinpointed down to like the smallest little spot on your face. You'll see it's fucking wild. That technology is not ready right now, but you can see where it's going. It's that fucking realistic. There's a bunch of different examples in there, but I'll show the end examples here eventually. But I thought that whole interview was just creepy as fuck to me, to tell you the truth. It reminded me of that movie, The Cell. You guys seen The Cell? It's just like this weird little room they're talking in, and he's acting all creepy, and she's acting fake as fuck. And it's just kind of like, this is creepy. This is really creepy.
You should show them. You should show them I think it's the 48-minute mark, Pat, where they have the pet, pets in the metaverse. No, but what's the fucking point of having a pet? It's like a pet should be a fucking pet. You don't need a fucking avatar pet, man. Like
they have it's the pet. The pet looks.
It's a fucking pet.
The pet. I just thought of another quick business idea. Charge people $5 for their metaverse pet food.
Oh my god! Well, and they already hit my kids up with that, where they have games where they I had to go on there and put my little passcode in and make it so they can buy like a special hat or something like that for 99 cents or $1 or $2 or something. Anybody that does that shit is kind of annoying. Yeah, the pet, the reason the pet's kind of stupid in this example, because the pet's like the graphics on a pet is from like a PC game from the 90s. It's yeah.
If you watch it in the video, the way they talk to it is creepy too. It's super creepy.
But yeah, it's interesting as fuck.
What about like those, I think they're called Gidgee pets, like when we were growing up?
Oh, the little keychain things?
Yeah, they're just like toys and people treated those like real pets. So who fucking knows, man? Anything could be a pet, I guess.
If you want a pet, man, the metaverse is where you can get one. Also,
that's a sell right there.
Is that the only place?
But the pet is really code word for piece of ass. That's
hey Pat, that creepy guy in that really quick, that creepy guy in that video you just showed, I thought for sure he's gonna turn around and go, "That's my brother's, give it back."
You guys want to see the fucking pet? I'll show you the pet.
Yeah.
Okay.
48-minute mark.
I mean, you can hype up the pet and then never show me the pet.
This pet looks like something that was like, I mean,
but it's the way they talk to the pet. I'm offended.
I'm gonna mute everybody here so we can listen to this. Here we go.
This is Oppie. Oppie, come on, Oppie. Who is a good persistent state virtual object layered on an interactive pass-through environment? Oh, you are. Yes, you are. Oppie, sit. Pets in the metaverse, man. Just as stubborn as they are in the physical world.
You know, Boz, I always really wanted a forest in my living room.
Did you?
Not really.
So
you stopped right at the good part, Pat.
Jesus.
You should watch the whole thing. People listening at home, just watch this because it is fucking crazy. It's
I wanted to show like the stuff that was like more like intensive because that pet. What was the point on the pet? It looks like it's a 90s.
I was gonna say, well, what was a pet? Was a pet? Is that supposed to be a dog? Like a fucking gremlin?
If you watch the video, they keep interacting with it, and it's just stupid as shit. That's
the end of it.
Yeah, that's the point. Is that it's stupid.
No, they don't. Okay, yeah, because that's all the pet. That's all the pet that was there on that clip.
That's like shit you get beat up for, when we were going to high school. It's like I still think that like there might be a complete denial of technology in the coming years because once technology becomes cool to everyone, kids are rebellious. Kids are going to start going, fuck TikTok, fuck watching YouTube videos, fuck the metaverse. Won't that come one day where they're just like, this isn't cool anymore?
Yeah.
My dad's sitting there talking to his fake pet in his living room.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but probably not. Like, look at it now. That's one of the things I remember thinking about before my daughter was born. Was like, man, I don't want her to be the first kid with a phone in her class, but I also don't want her to be the last kid in her class. Like it's already so like with that stuff, it's how kids are. They're mean as shit. Like if you don't have something, kids will just be mean. So that's what this will become. Like,
so did you?
You don't have Oppie, the fucking horn-faced rabbit. You're a loser.
So did you put the chip? Did you put the chip in her, Mark? The chip so you could see where she's going all the time?
No, that doesn't exist yet. Anyway.
You should watch the whole video. It's funny to watch how Mark Zuckerberg tries to act so normal.
Yeah,
and
totally.
It's so phony. You should watch the video. It's so freaking phony.
If you guys are curious though, the glasses at 59-minute point, the smart glasses, that's when they introduced it. They say they talk about just for people listening, whatever. It's like they talk about the smart glasses, and then right towards the end, then they really get into the avatars and talking about that deep fake stuff, like the guy that does the Tom Cruise where it looks like Tom Cruise. It's like they have that photorealistic shit where it's like you're not going to be able to tell. But it's somebody said earlier about was it Mahoney about having things close to your eyes, whether it's when you were looking at television as a kid too close, and now it's like going to be close to your eye, right? Well, that's the thing, is that it's you're still looking at a screen, so they're still not really in your head, right? I mean, all this stuff, even with the goggles on, you're still just looking at something. It's like the next shit is going to be when they can, speak to you telepathically and like implant thoughts and read your fucking mind and shit. That's going to be, where things really change,
Just with the like Oculus and the glasses, even at some point, like I'm sure they'll come up with some drug to fix it, but people are going to get headaches like fucking crazy from being on it too much.
Mm-hmm.
The glasses is interesting, and right now I watched the right now what they have, the technology they have for glasses right now is not much different than the Google Glass right now. In the way that you can like take video and record pictures, it's better than the original Google Glass.
It's way better, Pat.
But it's the same fucking thing, pretty much.
No, it's not.
It is the same thing.
Go to the 1 hour 30 minute mark. They have the eye tracking wherever your eyes look, that's where the cursor points. They you probably didn't see that part. 1 hour 13 minute mark.
No, they did a lot of stuff that they said was going to come out in the future, but a lot of stuff in the video they said hadn't come out yet. I guess you have to buy a copy.
Have you guys been on the Oculus Quest? Has everyone in here been on one of those?
No, that's why I just ordered one.
Okay. Marissa's aunt had one last summer, and they're like, you got to try this. Marissa's cousins and shit. So I put it on, and it's pretty fucking wild. They had like this haunted house that you walk through, and like I'm afraid of heights. I'm looking down on this rickety old bridge just in their living room, and it was pretty fucking wild.
I have heard, and that's without connecting sensors to like your wrist and all these things. There's so much of this. There's too much in this video that we could actually honestly cover. There's so much stuff. Like it's wild. I mean, they have this one where they have a wrist and you're typing with your hand on your fucking like knee and stuff. Again, I'll show you the next part. I'll show you is this interview he did with this technology. Again, this guy has like 13 different things in process, and Mark Zuckerberg even like just shows a couple of them, and just a couple of them he shows. It's like, holy fuck! If this is the tip of the iceberg, I mean, it's crazy. They have AI, not AI, but again, the simulation of avatars that look exactly like you do. They are. You want to see how close they are to that? I can show a clip of that really quick.
Sure.
This is how crazy close they are to having. Here, I'll beat everybody. This is how crazy close they are. Again, what I'm showing right now is not available right now, to make it clear. But this is what they're going towards, and this is going to be. This is going to be the wave of the future eventually. And a lot of times he'll quote 5 or 10 years down the road. But like this guy says, it depends on the advancement of technology and everything. But this is where they're heading eventually. This is pretty wild. So this whole sequence right here, this is an actual avatar they're showing here. This is crazy how realistic it looks.
Of course, you'll be able to do all of that and more in the metaverse.
So this next video shows how we're making progress on part of that with hair and skin rendering and relighting for 3D avatars.
She's going for the medical field. I think she was interested into...
Now, I want to point out this technology is still very definitely research, but it shows the really high level of fidelity that avatars are ultimately going to need to reach. Notice that you can see the individual pores on his skin. Now, clothing is another important way to express yourself. And whether you want to simulate your actual garments, say you're making a quick call with your grandmother, or maybe you just want to be wearing a stylish blue Oxford shirt like me, you're going to need the ability to simulate clothing. So here's an early look at hand-cloth interaction. And you can see how the movement of the cloth when the hand touches and stretches it is really remarkably accurate. Last year, we showed our very first full-body codec avatar at Connect. Here to tell you more about our progress since then is Yasser Sheikh.
Hi there. My name is Yasser, and I direct the Facebook Reality Research Lab in Pittsburgh. Well, that's not completely true. What you're seeing is actually a rendering of my pre-recorded codec avatar. Over the past couple of years, we've made quite a bit of progress with codec avatars. My avatar can now look left, look right, look up, look down, make facial expressions.
Here, you can see Elaine is in VR on the right. You can see her view of Yasser's avatar and the reconstructed real-world space that it's in on the left as she moves around the avatar. What you see on the left is an entirely virtual reconstruction. This gives you a sense of a future in which you'll be able to interact with another person's realistic avatar in virtual reality in real time.
So why are they so obsessed with avatars? Like, have you guys been thinking the same thing? Like, why? Like, do you think that there isn't an agenda, like a agenda to disassociate people from their personality, or like, because it's like this whole avatar thing. It's like, what, like, what's the motivation there? I mean, yes, it's entertaining, but man, like, do you guys have any thoughts on that? Like the where anytime you put this thing on, you're just going to see your friend is a monster and your other friend is, I mean, it's totally unrealistic. It's almost like these young kids thinking that they're supermodels, or they're trying to be the magazine cover, right? Like,
Yeah, Mike, I guess the only thing I'd say is like if you get enough people to buy in, or not even buy into it, but get enough people to be like, oh, that's so cool. And with that many fucking people across the globe and shit, you're gonna get those people to be like, yeah, man, I'm so much cooler as this fucking avatar. I guess that's the only reason I could think of.
As you're talking about this, here's how I look at it, and I'll compare this to the rest of technology. Is that what are the psychological impacts of this? Where you go back to your grandparents or whoever watching TV, and obviously they're fine, they watch TV or whatever, but people get really into a movie, they don't ever go outside or anything, and then once the movie's over, what do they do then? Or once you're on social media, what do you do after you unplug from social media? When you got a VR goggles here that can take you anywhere, in any world, any place, do anything you want to do, what are the psychological effects that when you unplug from that virtual world and go back to your little box that you're living out outside of Walmart in?
Yeah, I don't want to be really quick. I don't want to be an old like cadre bastard, but I mean, on the surface, it's like, oh, that looks cool. That'd be fun. It's kind of like when we were kids, and you'd have the WWF game or something, and you could create a little avatar. You could make the guy fat or skinny or tall or wearing a mask or whatever. It's just an advanced version of that. But yeah, anything that can be manipulated will, and that's the scary thing. It's like, how far is this going to go where it replaces reality for a lot of people?
I think what they're trying to do is give people this like, hey, do you not like that you gained a couple pounds around the holiday season? Well, guess what? Your avatar didn't. Like you can unplug from reality, right? You can be the version of yourself that you imagined in your head, like the super like in shape buff guy with huge 36-inch biceps.
Yeah.
Then you take it off,
and some of that might be a positive, because it might actually help people with their self-esteem, but it's only in the short term, because people are going to use that as a crutch, and it's not going to fucking help their depression. You know what I'm saying? Like looking like Hulk, like the ripped pro wrestler. It's just going to get old after a while.
Yeah, it's like playing a video game where you're successful at it. Eventually that game gets over and you're like, okay, fuck.
As soon as you take off the glasses, you're sitting there in your wife beater covered in Cheetos, 360 pounds with a gun in your mouth.
A virtual gun, Kelly.
I like to compare it though. I know people like Miles and people have done this. You play the NBA games, like the NBA 2K. I used to play that. I haven't played it in a long time. But I used to adjust the little sliders so I could make most of my shots, and I didn't have to adjust them that much, but yeah, I would adjust the sliders. It was a lot of fun knowing that I was going to win every single game.
He'd make 100% of the shots.
And then Mike, the game ends, and I turn on TV, and the Knicks actually lost by fucking 50 in reality.
It's a nice little escape.
And speaking of the Knicks, like, how cool would it be though to be courtside anytime you want? Like, that would be fucking sweet for a while.
Yeah, well, who out there has not created themselves in a video game? You know what I'm saying? Whatever sport it was, and you played yourself, and you're like, oh fuck, this is kind of cool. I'm in the pro football league or whatever.
Yeah.
Most '90s kids have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
today's kids, every kid.
At the end of the day, you can't even make the JV squad for the Deer Lodge Wardens.
Yeah. But you know what? Matt Freeze is going to be just the ref. He's just going to be the ref. He has his opportunity to be the star, and he's going to be the ref.
I would encourage everyone to watch this video. The video itself is not targeting consumers or users. This video is targeting big corporations and companies and saying, look,
it's a proof of concept. They're trying.
Yeah. Yes. And the way they shoot it, it's really, really well done. They're like, this is what we're going to do.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. You
but
guys,
it's creepy.
Yeah, we had to beg you, Coca-Cola and Pepsi and you guys to get on board with Facebook. Well, if you don't get on board right away with this, it's going to pass you by pretty fast because this is what's going to be the future. Yeah. So, I mean, the way they talk, the way they present, this whole thing is just a big presentation, a corporate presentation to major corporations. And that's why there's only 2 million views, because other people, that's the downside, is other people, I think a lot of the concepts is just so incomprehensible for most people's minds to really understand that it goes over their heads. But a video like this, I would have thought this would be like hundreds of millions of views.
I noticed that too, because Facebook has the power to just make that thing fucking everywhere. And why does it only have 2 million views? That's interesting.
Because 2 million views, I mean, maybe for one of us that'd be, oh, that's fucking awesome. But like for Facebook, this is like nothing. It's like,
well, and like you said, Pat, this is just the beginning because they haven't even unrolled anything yet, and they are going to start unrolling this stuff. And hey, that's just the world that we live in. And the thing that concerns me. You guys know the history of Facebook, right? How it was kind of like a government program. Do you know anything about that? Like in 2004, like DARPA had this fucking program. I think it was called LifeLog. Whoever's listening, definitely do your research. That's like the extent of what I know about it. But from what I understand, Facebook was announced like literally the day after Wired magazine reported that DARPA, like this DARPA program, LifeLog, was being shut down. Like Wired magazine, they said this is being shut down, and then all of a sudden Facebook comes out of nowhere, and then there's this story of this kid from Harvard who just wants to meet girls, and and Hollywood makes a movie about it, and it's kind of weird. This is the conspiracy coming out of me now, Mark. So maybe it's bedtime.
I never heard of that one.
Oh no, look it up. But Facebook's kind of weird. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg's fucking weird. And hey, maybe I give him props. If he really is this mad genius, I mean, granted, these are all engineers. I mean, there's a lot of people that work at Facebook, and I'm trying to be more positive in my life, and I know you guys are on that same page, and I don't want to be so negative and so conspiratorial about it, but I am concerned because I remember when Facebook started censoring me, it was right when because I used to be a liberal. I was a Democrat pretty much all my life until the whole Hillary Clinton fucking when she fucked over Bernie Sanders and just the whole 2016 2017 era. I just couldn't support that anymore. And so I started ranting on Facebook like I do. And in 2017, Facebook was censoring me. They were deleting my posts and shit. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't. And now it's like, oh, duh. It's like, if you haven't been fucking censored yet, then you're not saying interesting shit, right, Pat?
Yeah. No, it's trying to look up that video. I actually found the clip of the glasses. If you guys want to see these glasses really quick.
Yeah, this is trippy.
Yeah, I'll show you these glasses really quick. This is either a glass half empty or glass half full situation, right?
Glasses half empty?
Yeah. So just about what they're talking about in this video, what Mark Zuckerberg's talking about there, just to clarify this as simple as possible, it's called augmented reality. It's where you have glasses and you can have virtual things you augment through these glasses and it can be in reality. It's an interesting concept, but I'll show you here.
Now, beyond virtual reality, we are also focused on the hardware to make true augmented reality possible. In a lot of ways, augmented reality is even harder. Not just because we need to invent a completely new optical stack that's not based on screens, but because we basically need to fit a supercomputer into a pair of normal-looking glasses. So we're approaching this problem from two directions. First, how much technology can we pack into a pair of normal, great-looking glasses today? And second, how do we take the long-term tech stack to do everything and keep miniaturizing and improving it until it fits into a pair of normal, good-looking glasses? On the first path, last month we launched Ray-Ban Stories, our first smart glasses in partnership with EssilorLuxottica. They're not full AR glasses yet, but they let you take pictures and videos, listen to music, and take phone calls while you're out looking at the world instead of down at your phone. And we built leading privacy features into the glasses, like the LED light whenever you're recording, which phones don't even have. And we delivered this in the iconic Ray-Ban style for just $299.
Remember the mock apartment we saw earlier? Well, we've indexed every single object in it, including not only location, but also the texture, geometry, and function of each one. We fed all that information into the Project Aria glasses Ming-Fei is wearing in this next demo. And the reason is to simulate how AR glasses will ultimately be able to access data from a 3D map that will help them identify the real-world objects in the space around you and better understand your context so they can help you. What's happening here is that the glasses are calculating where Ming-Fei is in the room, locating and identifying all the nearby objects based on the index mentioned earlier, and figuring out which of those objects Ming-Fei is interested in by observing her eye movements. That contextual information, in turn, enables the system to offer proactive assistance to Ming-Fei in a variety of ways. Here, the system knows that she may want to turn on the TV, so when she clicks while looking at it, the system turns it on. Ultimately, her AR glasses will tell her what her available actions are at any time.
Hey assistant, where's my favorite mug?
We're also working on a voice interface that will let you locate any object. Here, the system is displaying the current location of the mug. In the future, it might tell her where it is using speech or text, or it might highlight the location in her glasses. Really, it's an early look at the sort of intuitive, low-friction interface that AI plus EMG input will enable in the future. This is how we'll all be interacting one day.
And one day he'll finally get laid, hopefully. All right, here, let me plug my headphone set back in here.
You see how they're telling you that, though? They're telling you how people are gonna interact one day. They're just selling it. They're not being honest with you. They're not saying anything about the negative. They're not bringing up, hey, Facebook, you were just in a lot of fucking trouble. A lot of trouble. And by the way, you're rebranding because young people are jumping ship. Your average young Gen Z person says, oh, Facebook's for old people. Like, people are pissed off at Facebook because of censorship, because like, and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna protect you by a little LED light that's gonna let people know when it's filming. Get the fuck out of here. You guys are gonna be filming, you're gonna be filming all of it, you're gonna be recording all of it, and we fucking know it. So as long as everybody knows that shit, then we're good. Fine. Let's do this.
Yeah,
but just know it's all gonna be recorded.
Yeah, just to clarify my point earlier on those glasses, the capabilities of the current glasses right now, the capability, like I said, it's just a notch above Google Glasses in the sense the capability right now is just to record video, take pictures, post it to Instagram, whatever. Everything else in that video was projections of things they're working on. But they show you what they're doing, and it's pretty fucking interesting. And if you think the technology is
here yet, it's not here yet.
If you think it sounds impossible to think that you could put all that technology into fucking sunglasses or whatever, but think about this is an entire fucking computer right here, right now. Used to take up an entire fucking room.
Yeah.
So,
I don't like how they said, oh, you can look at all of your options. It's like, well, then who the fuck's giving me these options? It's kind of like texting now or a messenger. You guys know how it is. Like the words like pop up in front of you. Like, do you want to say, oh, have a good day?
Yeah.
And it's usually like, it's basically what I want to say, but it's still scary because it's like, I don't want you to tell me what to fucking say. I want to say it myself.
Because more human interaction keeps you on the fucking app. They want to keep you an app as long as possible. That's what they force feed you, that bullshit.
Yeah.
Did you mean to say what the duck?
I know. I hate that one.
That. But they know that. They know that. They do that on purpose. The duck thing. They do that on purpose. They know fuck is the most popular word by 100x that's ever spoken ever. Like, they know that.
Why
you know what I love is like, so those current Facebook or I guess whatever their new company's called, glasses, so you can take phone calls from it, and people already look like crazy people talking in their little like Apple earpods.
I hate
so
that.
Now imagine you're not gonna know someone is talking to they're just gonna look like a crazy person, like taking a phone call with glasses on.
Can you imagine walking through the fucking airport like any airport right now, say the airport there in Omaha, Nebraska, it's a really super nice airport with shuttles and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the people that you see going through there, I just can't even fucking imagine. I was just through the airports a couple months ago, and it's just, I can't imagine people with glasses on. You might fucking punch a real person trying to play a game or something while you're walking.
Or if you're on your glasses now and you tap and take a phone call, and like you're walking by a whole bunch of people. Oh, how you doing, sweetheart? They don't know you're on the phone. You know?
What if you're fucking some prostitute on your iPhone glasses in the airport? Your dick's all out. Oh.
out in the middle of Times Square. Oh, fuck yeah, baby.
Well, okay. So you guys bring up a good point. So what does that mean? When that shit starts happening, guess what? Just like drones, they're going to regulate it because people started flying drones into Yellowstone Park. You know?
Sorry, Matt was.
Oh, shit, Matt. Poor.
Jeez, Mike can unmute himself. I'm not sure what the deal is with the mute.
Hey, you guys can't unmute yourself? You guys aren't in the metaverse? Holy
Matt,
shit.
touch your screen. Matthew, touch your screen.
Boycott Mike freeze. Matt's put up a boycott Mike freeze.
Okay, cool. I thought it was just going fucking crazy. All right. No, we're good now. But all I want.
I'm sorry, Matt, if I was talking over you because you were muted.
Oh, yeah. No. Hey, I got primitive. See, primitive. This is what the beta world can't touch. Whatever that was called. I was gonna say those. Hey, Mike, those glasses look pretty fucking sweet, though. Do you know what I'm saying? Going to a concert and you could have those glasses recording everything without people putting their phones in your fucking face.
No, and the Ray-Bans, those Ray-Bans are way better than the Google Glass. My take just was that the technology still isn't like popping like boom, like, oh, this is fucking. It's gonna happen though. It's gonna fucking happen. There's actually another clip that I didn't show where Mark Zuckerberg was playing fucking tennis in a virtual world with those same glasses on, or not tennis, but the sword game where you fucking sword somebody.
Fencing.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Well, you know, and the glasses are just going to be a temporary thing too, because eventually they are going to put a chip in you, and it's going to be welcome. Like people are going to want it because here's the thing, like. It's going to go from glasses to contacts. Have you seen that, Pat? The contact lenses that they have this technology. Again, you're right. It's not here yet, but they're beta testing this shit. They're totally beta testing it. And it's there for Facebook to be announcing this if you watch the whole video, they're really, really, really adamant about this is our way forward. Mark Zuckerberg says, he goes, we used to be Facebook first. Now we're Meta first. And this is the way the future is. And he tells you this is all they're
you should and I part of this, I don't necessarily have time. I want to pick apart the entire fucking video of the style of shooting as a filmmaker and the way they shot it and edited it.
Me too. I want to talk about that too.
I'll pull up one picture because I had this already prepared. This is just a weird picture. It's a weird question I have, but they didn't shoot it in a way that Mark Zuckerberg is sitting there on his couch wanting to appeal to the average American or whatever. He very much shot it in this high level corporate type. I mean, he did not shoot this to appeal to the average Joe, really. You know, it's pretty obvious the way, but check this out. So I believe a bunch in like the placement of things in the back of a video and the placement of everything in this video is fucking intentional. But with something so big for them to announce, the metaverse, everything else, everything intentionally placed, I could not take my eyes off of this when I first started watching it. This is
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the sweet baby rays in the background.
Did you see that when you started watching it? I was like, what the fuck is that doing there? That is Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, the cheapest barbecue sauce alive, randomly in the background of this photo of a very nice, elegant house. What the fuck is that about?
You know what, and I feel like this is not, I wouldn't call it conspiratorial, but I had heard about this prior to watching this video. So I feel like they made it like intentionally did it to make it a thing that people like, there'd be memes on the internet of Zuckerberg having barbecue sauce as one of his bookends, you know, and then get people talking about this and get it, you know, not talking about how they're rigging elections and stuff like that.
So Mahoney, you said this is basically an Easter egg because that has no business being there.
Huge. Yeah.
Wow, that's a crazy Easter egg.
And
That
everything
makes no
is
sense.
intentional. Every single thing is intentional. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is worth $100 billion. He could literally make fucking Game of Thrones metaverse promo video.
Yeah, it's the image is so fucking bizarre, and it's so intentional because every single other image in this entire video, it's elegant. There's bookshelves, there's old references to old technology, like the scene that we showed briefly where there's a big fucking telescope looking at the stars, pointing to the future. Everything is symbolic in this video.
Yeah,
to get a certain reaction by the audience. It's
I
really
saw
fun.
something. I saw something in the background. If you guys didn't see it, you know,
The sperm machine. Yes. but you know, so they are going to start censoring you, Pat. So you were talking about walking around the airport, like you know, maybe hey, everybody's gonna be talking to each other. Well, what if Patrick Cutler happens to say, "Oh, COVID was a hoax"? Oh shit, you're in trouble now because guess what? They fucking heard you, and they're gonna fucking keep track of this shit, man. Like they have a track record of doing this. So this is also the beginning of that, right?
Oh, I think so, big time. It's hard to tell what exactly they're going to do because the thing that's disappointing to me is that they preach so much about freedom of expression. Because I go back and make this point a lot of times. It's like originally I love Facebook because it's like this freedom of expression that you had to kind of go out and just say whatever you want, and that was a great thing about Facebook, Instagram, you know, all social media. It's like it's crazy that as you talk, like man, you can't even talk about. I don't know what it is like now, but there is a point where I went off about COVID for a while, but you got the point you can't even talk about COVID anymore.
And you're right. That was the great thing about Facebook, but that's the devil's deal. It's like they entice you and then they put the squeeze on you. You know, it's like you make a deal with the devil. They give you a Ferrari, but there's only like an eighth of a tank of gas, and you know.
And people are so brainwashed; they don't understand. There's a huge difference from showing like pornography and stuff on there and showing violent acts and making threats, you know, evil things like that. But you're just sitting there saying that, well, I can't talk about fucking COVID at all and just state a fact. I'm not allowed to do that. It's really just a suppression of information. It's just like that's what drives me nuts about it. Hey, I got an Easter egg to show you guys here really quick. You know that the sperm machines we had earlier? Yeah, I actually found something in the background of those sperm machines from Japan. Check this one out.
An Easter egg?
Yeah, here's an Easter egg. looks like Baldwin was at the factory that day.
Yeah, he wasn't shooting blanks that day.
Nice.
Baldwin was
Damn, Kelly in late. And props to you, Kelly, for hanging in here. I know you're not feeling well, and you didn't even go to your fucking rehearsal, and you're sticking in for this one, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, Prison City podcast, man, important shit. I've just been trying to say something since 5 fucking categories ago. I turned into Matt.
I was to say, were you trying to say something or take the jizz out of your mouth, man?
His ear. I don't think you could hear.
You know, can we hear from Matt a little bit? Because like Matt always gets cut off or he has internet issues, but now he's got Kaya's phone. Like, can we hear a Matt like monologue where we just let him free thought?
Nah. I'm good.
I like that.
No, but I think the conversation is going well. You know, I think I'm, you know, chiming in when need be, dude. I'm waiting to get into this alien shit if doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
Before the night runs out, right?
It's funny because last time Pat's like, we don't have enough time to talk about Blue Beam, so we're gonna do it next time.
I gotta tell you, my horses are almost ready to round.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, okay. Well, hold on a second. In 20 seconds, guess what, guys? Metaverse is Project Bluebeam. That's the big fucking reveal of this. It totally is. Project Bluebeam is old. That's gone now. That's like early 2000s. Even in the 90s when they were talking about Project Bluebeam, that's like now that this technology exists, like this is how they're gonna do it, right? This is how they're gonna do all of the hologramic shit. Because like, why would they bother doing the effort of all the fucking shit in the sky when everybody's going to be wearing these goddamn things? they're going to be wearing these things in Africa. They're going to be wearing them in every country. And when the blue beam shit starts to happen, when the Messiah comes or when the aliens come, it's going to be in whatever language you speak, and it's going to know your fucking language because you're wearing the meta shit. It's going to track everything about you. You know how Facebook tracks all your habits and it's weird. I was just talking about that, and all of a sudden I got an ad for it. Dude, that's like 1.0. Can you imagine like the 11.0 version of that, where literally everything you say is being fed into this goddamn thing? And it's like, so when they do this and whatever comes, they're gonna fucking say it in a fucking way that you're gonna get it. And it's that's going into the Project Bluebeam stuff, but they're way ahead of us on this. Way ahead of us on this.
I had a couple points here. I was just looking at my notes or whatever that I yet to make. I was thinking the first thing is, is technology, again, I go to the Facebook example that Mike was talking about, being censored and stuff. Is technology, as it comes out, it's great. And maybe this is just a historical thing too. You talk about, what are you a slave to in this world? Well, you're a slave to your car because you need your car to go places to make money now. So you're kind of a slave. But the way this is advancing to a whole other level is technology now basically enslaving people to some extent. I mean, because you get to a point where you have to be on Facebook or you have to be in the metaverse to actually do business and commerce and all these different things. It's like, it makes it so hard to quit it and everything else. It's like, it goes from like, oh, this is cool to, oh, we actually honestly need this to survive. So it's like, I don't know. It feels like to me, the more technology advances, the more it kind of slaves people and the more it kind of keeps you in a box, essentially. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that's weird because you'd think it'd be the complete opposite. Technology is going to free us. But yeah, that's how I feel looking at all this stuff. It's kind of like Mike says, let's be optimistic and positive. But it's, to me, it's just kind of a little bit depressing. It's like my favorite time in life was just being when we were kids. I'd like to be there eternally, if I could. But yeah, this shit's like, I don't want to fucking put on these goggles every day, and this is my reality now, living in a box somewhere.
So I should return the goggles for your Christmas present, or I kind of felt like that's exactly what you wanted, but that's fine. That's fine.
And the thing about the goggles is that they had that uniqueness, like I was saying earlier, like I was telling Mike, it's like you can't really experience it without putting the goggles on and actually experiencing it. It's not the same thing as watching a YouTube video on it.
Yeah, I went to Dave and Buster's down in Salt Lake City, and they had these Jurassic Park rides and Terminator 2 rides and all this shit, but it's virtual reality, right? You sit in a seat, and it's like a roller coaster chair. Or anyway, you put on these goggles, full headset, man. I just remembered, like, the seat moved, and you could just see, like, the entire Jurassic Park, and it was insane how crazy they made it. In the back of your mind, you always knew you were just sitting in a seat at Dave and Buster's, but yeah, to get lost in that thing, this is just a couple minutes. I mean, yeah, totally. If you were just living there, if you had that available to you, like, you just plug in something next to your wall and shit. Yeah, I can see people getting lost.
And didn't they smell like shit too?
Yeah, it smelled like the dude fucking rubbed his armpits on him before he handed it. It was like, yeah, the guy who gave it to us was like straight out of the Simpsons, the comic book guy. Yeah, it smelled horrible. I think that might have he might have done like, yeah, let's like make it smell like it was back then.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Not only these phones, they try to make you stay on constantly 24/7, and the social media does that too and everything. But I envision, what if, we all put our phones aside at some point, but what if I envision like this. You talk about the main thing with those glasses is you get up, you put your glasses on, you wear those glasses all day long and do whatever on your glasses all day long. And then you come home, maybe grab a quick bite to eat, to just put your charged up virtual reality full goggles on and just dive right in. So in that way, it's almost like they've created a place where you're never really out of the metaverse. You're in it 24/7.
Hey, Kelly mentioned something about growing up, being a kid. People listening to this, if you are from Deer Lodge, you are a lucky fucker. We are really fucking lucky to have grown up in the school district #1 in the 1990s. So Kelly, when you're saying, oh man, I wish I could just live there forever, maybe other 90s kids can relate with us here. All right. But imagine Deer Lodge. It's like literally like every 90s meme you see. It's like Deer Lodge was just so fucking great because we weren't in a big city. Like, do you guys remember playing marbles in Granville Stewart?
Oh yeah,
They're pogs.
Right. All right.
There are marbles still. I remember the marbles on the dirt by the trees and stuff.
But try to envision when you're in third grade, the feeling that you had when you fucking won a pot of marbles, or you had a granddaddy or a fucking Steely, or you know what I mean? Like those are so amplified when you're a kid. Now, my question is, do you think that, hey, kids nowadays, even on TikTok that are that age, maybe they're gonna have those memories when they're 50 and they're like, oh, you goddamn metaverse assholes. When I was a kid, we were on TikTok and it was fucking great, man. Let me tell you. I mean, maybe that is true. Maybe we associate that feeling with marbles and fucking whatever, like, the 90s shit, but maybe it's like every generation, it's always the same feeling. And what Matt was saying about the Jurassic Park shit, it's like they're gonna make it feel so good. And so the positive side is, hey, guess what? Fucking Facebook, they're pretty goddamn progressive. They're pretty liberal. All right, guys, how about we end racism? Let's just fucking end racism with the metaverse, because there's no need to be fucking racist anymore, is there? If we're all in avatars, I mean, that's gonna go away, right? So let's feel good about it, and but the sad thing is that I'm not in charge, you're not in charge, and that's not how it's gonna go. We all know that. This is gonna be fucked, right? And it's like, so in my mind, and one of the things I wanted to work out tonight talking to you guys is how can I feel good about this? How can I not just be negative about this? Because I'm fucking kind of terrified of this, and I just see all kinds of fucking bullshit coming up, but I also see so much beauty and so much. I mean, we could just end racism if everybody was in this metaverse. Let's just not be racist anymore. I don't know.
I'd say one positive outlook is that there's not going to be unlike the monopolies we have now on like social media. It's so hard for Trump's launching his social media thing that's doomed to fail, unfortunately. But there's not going to be a monopoly. Like when you talk, and there are going to be people that have power or whatever. When you talk about the metaverse, you're talking about like when they presented what Facebook presented was not. The metaverse isn't going to be owned purely by Facebook. It's going to be owned by whoever wants to go on there and create. And gosh, I was a while back I was reading. There's people that have bought digital things on these digital metaverses already that aren't advanced as they are today. They've already bought like these properties. I gotta look it up. It was fascinating. But I think it's going to be really hard. I think it's going to be like the internet when the internet first came out. I think it's going to be really hard for one company just to take over it and own it. But if you don't put something in place to kind of, it's funny, if you watch the video, Mark Zuckerberg goes off about government regulation stuff because government regulation is the only thing stopping them from dominating everything. Google and Facebook almost they own the internet pretty much. I mean, they really do. But I hope the government, as they're developing this metaverse, and I'm not the super anti-government person. I just think some of the stuff they do is fucking stupid as hell. But they should look into having a development team of some kind that kind of works with them to kind of not regulate it, but be like, okay, you can't create this thing and then have it just a big fucking monopoly like the internet currently is. You got to have it open, or you can't just kick people out when they don't like what they have to say, or it's got to be a free flowing thing. Because right now, these private companies like Facebook, they're so big they can do whatever the fuck they want, kick people out, censor them. So when this comes out, I hope it doesn't end up like when Facebook, Twitter, all these things. When I first got on, I go on there, I literally say whatever the fuck I feel like, and it was great. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if you're going to stand for real freedom of expression, then stand for real freedom of expression. So, but yeah, my positive thing is I don't think it's going to be, they're going to be able to control it like they control some of these other platforms and things. It's not going to be, my thing is it's not going to be a platform. It's going to be more like the internet as a whole, the metaverse.
I think my positive, and this was going to be my final statement whenever we ground the Japanese sperm machines, but my positive is you can't stop fucking anything. We've said that. So why worry about it? Why try? It's going to go on whether you want it to or not, like anything in the world. And I think that this metaverse and things beyond our wildest imaginations have been here before, and they're going to be here again. And I feel like the universe is eternal. I watch these videos, you know, we've all seen them, where it shows you how small the earth is compared to, you know, Uranus and the sun, and then you back it up and how small the Milky Way is, and it backs up like 26 slides, and it's just like the earth wasn't even there after 2 or 3 slides. I'm just like, this shit in the universe has been going on, is going on. You know, it's not new. It's new to us, but it's not new to the universe, and things beyond our wildest imaginations are not new to this universe. So let it be its thing in a future life, in a future universe, metaverse, whatever. You're gonna be back in that the 90s again, you know, or God, my voice is really going out. But anyways, we're so fucking small that it's, I guess that's my positive, is just.
Jeez, have you been sucking too much of these lately?
Does that make any sense?
Yes.
All right, let's round those Japanese sperm bank machines here. We'll start with Matt, your final comment here on tonight's episode.
Oh man, I think I used my best joke with the whole drawing of the penis. Yeah, man, good shit tonight. Yeah, along with this fake world shit, I just say, like I said, it's fun to live in for a little bit, but I mean, I think everyone here on this podcast and a lot of people out there listening, whoever does listen, is going to agree that, yeah, you know, it's a scary thing, and living real life, there's just nothing like it. If this is real life, dun dun dun.
Yeah. Kelly, did you have anything more to say?
Yeah, let me just get close to my mic so you guys can hear me. So the metaverse is the thing. If Mark Zuckerberg is there, that's it. That's all you need to know.
All right. We'll go to Mahomes. What's your final statement here?
I get, you know what? I'll try and think of something positive about this, because I made some jokes about the negative. So positives. I think it'll be great for education. I think it looks like there's going to be good things there for people that maybe, I'm sure all of these goggles will end up in schools someday. I'm sure that contract's already probably in the works. So it'll be great for people that maybe didn't have access to certain things. So that's a good thing. There'll be a lot of new markets, like the dry cleaning of the bodysuits that I talked about. There'll probably have to be some sort of, no, I'm going to stay positive. I was going to go negative. So that's the positive. There's going to be there's going to be opportunities for new businesses. It should be a great way to stay connected for people that aren't around, or let's say you just had a kid and your parents aren't there, so there's the positive. In 10 episodes I'll go on all the negative.
So my final question, you Mahomes, is: does Scott Frost does Nebraska have a chance now that it can just go to the metaverse?
No, because even in fake life, they're still going to get out recruited.
And Mike Freeze, what's your final statement here tonight?
Hey, look, I'm in the metaverse. When you can make the muscles bigger.
So our listeners at home, he's playing with his dick.
Yeah.
Hey, look at the Easter egg behind him.
My arm.
Hey, if you guys check out the Easter egg on YouTube, there's one right behind Mike Freeze and I. If you look really closely, there's actually a Japanese sperm machine sitting back there.
Yep. I did marry an Asian too. So. Shit! I just got docked 10 points off my Metaverse account off my social fucking store. So, all right, I will try to be positive. Kelly said something interesting about hey, if you zoom out from the Earth, we're insignificant and shit like that. And we should do an episode on space and the whole agenda of NASA to make us think that we are just a fucking tiny speck of dust, because they don't want you knowing what's in the Bible and shit like that. Like, we are special, okay? And part of this is going to be about taking yet another layer of that away, right? And so at the 46-minute mark of this video, they say the human hand is an engineering marvel, and they have, do you remember that, Pat? They had the wrist things on.
Yeah.
And so the engineer is like, oh, the human hand is an engineering marvel, and look at all the shit we can do. And he went into great detail, and it was a great speech about how amazing the human hand was. But you know what? He didn't mention God. He didn't mention who engineered it. And whatever your feelings are on God, somebody fucking engineer it. And it wasn't you. It wasn't fucking Mark Zuckerberg, that's for sure. And it's just interesting to me that they don't bring up God once in this little promo piece, and they don't talk about it. They don't. It's almost like they're mocking it, kind of. They're saying, look, we're the new gods now. And they're not saying it directly, but you guys can pick up on this shit. It's subtle, but it's there. And so that's my positive way to end it.
That was good. That was sunshine and rainbows there.
Yeah. Right. But okay, just remember who you are, and that's going to be the one thing that is going to, people that resist this thing, you just got to remember that, hey, we're only here for a small amount of time, and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, they can have their toys and shit, but at the end of the day, man, our creator was our creator before he was fucking Facebook and after, and it's like, we're part of this thing, and we're very privileged to live in this time, right? Where, as Joe Rogan says, it's a cocoon. We're living in the time when the cocoon is becoming this butterfly of, so yeah, that's my fucking rant.
That was good. I'll just start off this by saying, today I waited to the last second today to start watching that video, and the video completely blows my mind. I mean, I'll post the link onto this, and I'll share as many people as possible. I even put up my own Facebook account a few hours ago, and the video itself just blows my freaking mind, where we're heading and how fast the technology is advancing, how fast things are happening. And they basically laid out the future of what we're looking at here. And there's there's so many Easter eggs in that, with what they say, from the design of their sets to the way they shoot the video, to there's so many Easter eggs and things you could pull out from. And they're using symbology, all these different things. I could spend like all day on it. And you talk about the hand thing. One of the biggest Easter eggs that stood out to me in the video that everybody has to watch is this guy talks about, like, we're building all these technologies and stuff. It's that guy in the end with the hair and stuff. And he's like, we're building all this stuff, and basically it's ready to go, but we're just waiting for a technological breakthrough. Like, he just expects it to happen, which is kind of creepy and eerie, because if you go back to the space program and the Nazi space engineers and everything, and there's several references in there to aliens and stuff. Where did they get the actual technology and stuff? From outer space, from aliens. And it's almost like they know something that we don't know. And this opens a whole new can of worms that we could not possibly cover in the show. So with that said, we just don't know what the fuck's going on, right?